my name's Elle, and this year I am the activities leader along with Roman, and our job is to plan really fun activities for the summer day trips and residential. But until then, we've planned out this box of activities that you can have a go at over the holidays, and hopefully you'll like some of them. Today on my video, we're going to be doing the tutorial for the paper mache Easter eggs. So I'm just going to go through the supplies you'll need and chat a little bit about it, and then we'll get into the tutorial. Inside your box, you'll be able to find loads of different supplies for this activity. I'm just going to run through them quickly. So you'll have your PVA glue, there should be 2 pots of PVA glue, and you're going to mix that with water. To mix them, we have I think 2 paper cups in your box, so you can use, I think they're for multiple activities, but we can definitely wash them out for sure. And then for the actual paper mache part, we obviously have the glue mixture, which we've talked about, and in your box you'll either have newspaper or paper towels, or both. There's been like a mixture across the boxes, so it doesn't matter at all which ones you have, they all work the same. And basically we're gonna, as you see in the video, we're going to rip them into like little bits and use the glue with a paintbrush, which you should also have in your box, to put it on the balloon. And then apart from that, you have, paint. So we're going to decorate them afterwards. So it should be sort of like a really sturdy shell that you've made out of the paper mache, and then you can paint anything you want onto it. Also, you can use marker pens on top of the paint as well, which I might do to mine later. I personally went for like a star, moon, night sky thing with a rocket on it. The rocket was a last minute addition because I felt like I needed something else. But you can totally go classic Easter egg style, with bright colours, or you can honestly put whatever you want on it. Another thing is maybe to plan out your design before you do it. It's completely up to you whether you plan it out or not, but I just kind of went for it on mine and I kind of regret not planning it out. So you could definitely use a pencil, which I think is in the box as well from the drawing activity. Hopefully the tutorial helps in setting out all the different steps, but it does go quite fast, and there's a lot of drying time involved. So I would leave the paper mache shell when you've done like the couple of layers. I would leave it for like maybe a day, half a day to a day, just because like on my first egg I did, it wasn't dry and I tried to pop the balloon and it completely collapsed, which wasn't ideal. So I would recommend to leave it later than you think you need to, just so it's definitely dry. And also the instructions booklet has a whole, I think 2 or 3 pages on the paper mache eggs, which have more detailed instructions which are written out. That should be everything, so let's get into the tutorial and I'll meet you at the end to show you my final product.
Okay, so first we're going to prepare the mixture of PVA and water. So we're going to do a mix of water that's double the amount of water as you're putting glue in the cup. So you can use the paper cup that you have, and use the paintbrush to mix it, and it should be like kind of a gooey thin mixture, not too thick for sure. So then we're preparing the strips of paper towel or newspaper, whichever you have in your box, or both if you have them in your box. There's a mixture, and they should be smallish squares, but not too small because you want to get good coverage. So then we are gluing with the water glue mixture on top with the paintbrush, and then we're just going to stick it on our balloon. So you can see this is a first birthday balloon because it's the only one I could get. But you should have a plain balloon. It doesn't matter what colour it is because you'll fully cover your balloon with the paper towels or the newspaper. So this is the first layer. Don't worry if you can see the colour through because we're going to do a couple more layers. So sorry about the angle, I couldn't find a good way to film this. So I'm just carrying on. As I say, I couldn't really find a way to show the whole balloon, but I'm trying to show like how I'm doing it. I wouldn't say to put glue directly on the balloon because you don't want the paper to get really stuck to the balloon because you're wanting to remove the balloon later on. So I'd say just to put it over the top of the paper. So yeah, just carrying on here until you've done a whole layer. Also for the paper plate, you can use a cup for sure. Just make sure you wash it in between because you don't want paint that you're using later to be like have bits of glue on it and stuff. So in this next clip, I'm doing my second layer and it should be a bit easier to see because of the way I was filming it. I figured it out. And you can see it's looking good and it's looking a lot thicker. You can sort of look for the bits that you really need to sort of work on that have like less coverage. So like find the bits that look like they need to be covered. So that's the end of the second. Okay, so you'll see the fully covered balloon here. So I've done about 3 or 4 layers. I'd recommend to do as many layers as you can just to make sure it's fully covered and it has a good shell around it so that when you pop the balloon, the shell doesn't deflate or anything because we want it to keep shape when you decorate it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a base layer of paint and then I'm going to pop the balloon. So you'll see the base layer in a minute. I'm going to do blue, and at the top of the balloon you want to pop with a safety pin. Be careful with the safety pin, it's in your box, and you'll see that it's sort of started to deflate there, and when I show you inside you can see the balloon sort of fallen. Doesn't matter at all, it just needs to be like away from the shell. I've covered up the top and I've painted it as well, and then you'll see in a minute that I've started my moon and stars. That's just sort of my base layer of colours, and I'm going to go with more detail.
Hi everyone, so I'm just going to show you my final product. So as I said, I went for the moon and stars kind of vibe, and also my rocket, which was a last minute thing. I definitely think I might add some black marker just to like define the different images that I put on here. I'm not sure yet, but I'm really happy with it, and it's pretty stable. It drops without breaking, so, and you can kind of hear that it's like quite solid. So as you'll see in the video, the balloon is still inside, but it doesn't really matter because it's completely like deflated and it's basically just like tiny bit at the bottom. I would make sure that it gets to that point, so like be really slow when you're like popping the balloon and let it deflate, just because you don't want it to be a full balloon inside, because at any time it's going to pop. So yeah, this is my final one, and if you want to send your paper mache eggs, pictures of them, to the cat's email, which is on the booklet, I think, on the bridge building section at the very end of the booklet, or you can put them on the Facebook page as well. We'd love to see them, and yes, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to see you in the summer and have loads of fun and make loads of memories at Cats like last year. So yes, I will see you soon. Bye!